Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Quit Acting Stupid. I'm your host, Jamie Paredes, and joining me as always are my brothers, Bobby and Rudy. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
All right.
We always talk at the same time, Bob. We always do our intros at the same time. But whatever.
Well, we got once again have a guest.
Guest.
Go ahead, Rudy. I don't want to cut you off.
We're kind of on a guest one week and then solo and then we're trying to keep that up. But anyways, our guest today been trying to get on for a while. We had him booked a while ago and he had some stuff come up. So I've known him for like
he big time us?
Yeah, he big timed us. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Jamie, I think we've known him for like 30 years, maybe is when we met.
Yeah.
Former coworker, I guess we would say, coworker at Worlds of Fun.
Were coworkers of his.
We were. And he hit it big. So we're here to talk to him. He's a former was it Rydell High? Was he a class member of Rydell High? Is that anyways, let's bring him out. Guys, welcome Drew Six to the show.
What's up, guys? Hey, I think it was Cleaver High.
Cleaver High. Rydell High is Greece.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
we probably would have got sued. They probably would have got sued
close.
if they said Rydell, but Cleaver High. I was going to ask you before we went live or before we started recording too. I'm like, was it? I never would have pulled Cleaver out of my butt, but Cleaver High. That's right.
Well, I've been back to visit, and they still have that little segment in there sometimes from the show.
It is?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw this show? For those of you that don't know, Drew was. We met Drew. He was a cast member of the Stacks of Wax at Worlds of Fun at the Moulin Rouge. When was the last time you've been back to see the show?
Well, that being there made a big impression on me. I still have dreams that I'm late to the stage and I'm hearing that same music in my head.
Right.
But to answer your question, I was back this summer because I'm friends with Matt Lewis, who's in Vegas now, and he was there for years, and we went to high school together. But his son is in the show, so I actually got to know friends and family. I know it's generational. Yeah, and there was another guy that had worked. Oh man, he was much older, but he's an actor in one of the shows, and he had worked there when he was young too. Because now they do these interesting skits too outside of the Stacks of Wax.
Really?
I think they call it something different now.
Matt Lewis, wasn't he? Did he married the other girl in the show, right?
Tiffany, right?
Was
it Tiffany?
That was a long time ago, and there's many stories from there on. but yes, at that point in time, he was married to her. Yeah, he did marry her.
I hate to get up and leave the show, but I swear in that room right there, and I think it's pretty gettable. It's in a box right there. I've got an autographed photo of Matt Lewis. We went to Branson, and he was doing his Elvis impersonating. And I don't remember who he signed it to. If it wasn't to me, I wasn't going, "Hey Matt, can I?" Must have been Miranda, or maybe it was Andrew. I don't know why I would have it, but I have an autograph. Matt Lewis,
probably a girl you were with, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't it. But
maybe we should let people in on how we would consider ourselves coworkers of his, because they're like, "Well, these idiots can't sing. How would they be coworkers?"
Oh yeah, we can. Bobby, you had. I'll let him know. But Bobby, you had something to say a second ago.
No, I got plenty of things to say. But were you going to go try and find something? I didn't know.
I will. Yeah, talk real quick. I'll be right back.
So, am I to understand that the Stacks of Wax show that you were in, Drew, many years ago, is still being played at Worlds of Fun to this very day? Is that right?
There are pieces of the show. Every year they kind of put it together in a new way. So that particular show has backing tracks, and so they change it around. But there are several elements, because I was there for, I think, 3 years from the shows that we did. And these guys, when they worked there, they may not have been on stage, but they were definitely entertainers.
Okay. Well, that I have no doubt. I mean,
it's funny because we were ushers at the show. And so basically our job, this is high school Jamie, 16, 17 years old, and my first job. And so basically they're like, okay, it's the middle of summer, go stand in this air conditioned building, open the doors and let people in, watch a show, again, in the air condition. When it's over, sweep up some popcorn, let people in again. And I'm like, so I would go, this would just be all day long. And so I remember there were times when I worked 10 hours and it was all those shows. It was a show, so I'd see like a ridiculous amount of shows, and I would think, man, people complain about working 10-hour days. That was cake.
Right. So
yeah, and go ahead.
no, I was just saying. So we let them know that we were ushers, and we had connections there at Worlds of Fun. We were there for a couple years. Connections in the dressing department or whatever. You guys check that out.
Chong.
So Jamie and I were ushers at the Stacks of Wax, and I had a badge that said Chong, and Jamie said Cheech.
I did not remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah.
But it's
Jamie and
not
I were
surprising.
Cheech and Chong. Yeah.
I remember entertain
great.
ourselves.
Yeah. Ways to entertain ourselves was key. We would. I remember when you guys showed me we can jump over the counter to the concession stand, and showed me how to get into some of their, candy. I guess some pop. I remember getting popcorn from there, and just kind of. I mean, because it's a long day, and I remember the most fun was like when it was a crappy day out, rainy. There weren't a lot of park customers or whatever. And you guys on stage would then, like, after we see the show, 20 times a day, so we know it by heart. But then, when there's 6 people in the theater, and you guys like come out in different costumes, or you switch roles, and you guys used to have some fun up there, and that would in turn make us laugh, and then we would try to make you guys laugh from up there, and man, it was a good time. It was a really good time.
Well, when you were gone, I was talking about you guys were definitely entertainers, even though you weren't on stage.
Yeah, I heard that, and I was like,
some of the the hardest laughter I've ever had is some of the stuff you guys were doing in the crowd, and me trying to keep a straight face.
Good times. By the way, check that out.
Ah, yeah.
Autograph Matt Lewis. It's to Andrew, our younger brother. So,
So
we went.
So Matt Lewis, you want to explain? There were so many shows in a day that there were actually 2 casts that did the same show. The one cast would work the morning, I think it was, and then the other cast would come in overnight. And so Drew and Matt played the main character. It was kind of like a knockoff of like a Grease kind of theme.
Like,
I don't want to say
it
sounds bad, but it was like a Grease. Something like that. And so
he was the Danny Zuko.
Yeah. What was the other high school you said? The Grease high school, yeah.
Rydell,
Rydell. I couldn't, yeah.
Right,
so Matt and Drew played the same character.
Just one was on day shift, one was on night shift, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is all new to me because I wasn't a part of that, so I'm learning all of this, and I have to admit, Drew, having never met you before, when I first came on tonight and saw your face and the background and everything, I was like, that is what a rock star looks like, right? Am I right? I mean, the stubble, the long hair, I mean, just the chains. I'm like, that's prototypical rock star right there. That's why I had to laugh. And I'm like, guys, I got to save it for the show. But I mean, you just give off rock star, right?
He's a real rock star. And we've known that from the time we worked with him. Like that was always your thing.
And I think I kind of knew that about him, but it was not until I actually saw because I had only heard your name. And obviously the name Drew 6 definitely sounds like a rock star. And then when I saw your face, I was like, oh yeah. And then maybe it could be the guitars in the background too. But I'm like, yeah, this guy's a rock star.
Get the whole thing going. Yeah.
So can you?
I don't know if you're doing any cocaine off site, but if you are,
Did you say cocaine?
Cocaine.
Can you take us on the journey? Like, how does one go from? Or first of all, like, how did you get started with with Worlds of Fun and Stacks of Wax? Were you did you pick up a guitar at 6 and you were just kind of a prodigy, or like what? And then how do you get to where you are now and kind of?
Well, I have no regrets about theme park work, but it was way out of my comfort zone, honestly. So I remember growing up and thinking that was like, as a kid, I would go there and it's like cool because there's actually people on stage and a real audience. But I was friends with Matt for many years, so he was doing it well before I was. So
how did you and Matt meet?
We went to school together. I knew him since middle school, and we're still close friends. He's
and you guys are local, so what middle school did you guys go to?
That's a good question.
You can't remember your middle school?
Too many drugs.
Pleasant Lee Junior High. That was it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I knew him before that. We were in like some summer class, and I just remember his mom got mad at him because he forgot his shoes, and she made him go to school without any shoes because we were carpooling. There are so many funny stories
That's awesome.
about that guy. But then another great story is I was really extremely nervous about the job. Like I said, way out of the comfort zone because I never did choreographed dancing. I couldn't sing harmonies. I had to learn. Basically, I would take the harmony part home and pound it in my brain because I just don't hear that. I hear melodies, but so I was very nervous, out of my comfort zone. Try out, and everyone got a call that made the show, but me. And a lot of people thought I was going to make it. And well, it turns out that Matt said to Gary was there at the time, if you remember that guy.
Remember him? Yeah.
He was gone pretty early. And Matt's like, he's not really my friend. Because Matt's like a joker, and we're like best friends. And they weren't going to hire me. So they wouldn't call me, and they couldn't get a hold of Matt. And so they finally got a hold of him, and he's like, oh, I was totally kidding. So I got the call like a day later or something like that, and it worked out. But that was kind of a side thing because early on I knew what I wanted to do. Back to your original question, I mean, I took guitar lessons in grade school, and then I was going to be a rock star. Period. And then I went back and taught myself just because that didn't work in my brain. And my parents have literally reel-to-reel recordings of me singing before I was barely talking. It was just always I knew what I wanted to do.
You know what? Before you go on, we have reel-to-reel recordings of my brother Bob singing. What were you singing? To do run, run, run.
Do run, run, run. Yeah.
To do run, run. I don't know. We had the grainy. Yeah. He wanted to be a rock star too. I think you made it. He didn't.
Do you still have them?
I haven't yet.
I think we do have those reel-to-reels still. But anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, moving forward is like, so I felt like when I was there, I had such a blast because I didn't go to way to school. I went to UMKC, which was actually extremely boring at the time.
Sure.
It was not a happy time in my life. It was commute, and I knew what I wanted to do. I stayed in Kansas City because I thought the band I was with at the time was going to be the ones that made it big. And of course, we had some close breaks through high school, big ones, but then we all disbanded. And I actually left Worlds of Fun because I was kind of felt like I was getting my fix there, like performing for people, and I wanted to move forward at the time. Because I mean, I would have stayed there forever because I was like, this is the social life I missed out on in college. You know, it's like there was parties every night and
I will say, I remember a party that might have been my first party. I was probably 16. I went to a party with you guys. It was like a cast party at it was at some hotel. Was it at a Holiday Inn? Jamie, you were downtown. There, weren't you?
Yes.
Because we all went to? It was for Allison's birthday or something. Wasn't it for Allison's birthday? I remember Carrie Knowles just puking up Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, wow.
Do you not remember that?
That's something like that happened at every party back then. That's what I was like, this is what I'm missing out on, man.
Like, right.
That was apparently pretty sheltered, even though I was playing in rock bands most of my life. Yeah.
So this was, let me just give the audience that's on YouTube a look. This was your cast right here.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
So I've got, so that's Drew.
I don't have any of this stuff. Any of it.
You don't have any of it?
No, I have no pictures, no video. There might be some video buried in some crates somewhere that I don't know where they are. But
I don't.
Drew is the one in the back row with the glasses.
Yeah, Drew's back center, and then that's Jenny and Jay on the. I guess I'd hate to say right. It's on my left currently, but I'm sure it's on the right. And then on the other side, Carrie McAllister, who I actually think I ran into. She was in line behind me with her husband and her kid at Betty Ray's in the River Market, and I was too nervous to say anything because I didn't think she'd remember me.
You're unforgiving.
And then Amber's the cheerleader, but I can't remember the nerd guy's name.
Oh, is it?
Apparently you don't either.
We put me on the spot. Chris? Does that sound right?
I was going to say Chris. That was going to be my guess. Was Chris.
He looks like Chris.
Yeah, Amber. So that was your crew. That was the one I worked with most. Huh. I don't remember the day crew had like Willis White.
Yeah,
but I don't really
still
remember.
Kind of stay in touch with him on social media. Like so I still
Willis. I follow.
Yeah.
He's on cruise ships a lot, and he does a lot of singing there.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
The other one I remember sometimes was the other nerd that I remember was Guy Hodson.
He was a nerd.
He was a nerd.
He was the jock.
Yeah, he was
Was
in
it
Jock.
Jock?
And he
Yeah.
was also
So then when
he was the construction worker when we did the Village People. So we still
People
work
set.
together too, because he's still drumming and touring with different people. And yeah,
I've seen him drum for you. Hey, let me take time out to give people a little taste of what you had there at Worlds of Fun.
And like a true nature child, we can love so high, never wanna die. Born to be wild, born to be wild.
Man,
oh,
Man, that was
old days.
You
So
took
was
me
that was
back.
a time.
Was that Drew singing?
Yes.
Yeah, that was Drew.
I
That's
like the
awesome.
screaming. I wish I had that every show. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there were some ladies there
I
screaming
was
for
just
you.
saying, you get girls. I wouldn't imagine at Worlds of Fun, girls were throwing their panties up on stage, but you know,
No.
You know,
No.
you
No,
guys
the
had some
ushers,
groupies.
the ushers would have to go get him if they did that. They would get in trouble.
we didn't have time for that funny business
Did you guys,
in our
have,
theater.
you guys had like groupies, like people that
Yeah.
would literally go see a
Yeah.
show, get out, and they would go around to the front of the building and get in line again. Like
They
so
watch
there'd
it
be
6
people-
times a day, and it's
Yeah.
to tape.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty
there's
crazy.
Lots of stories that I probably won't get into here tonight. But
Ooh, do tell.
we're just like
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, I did it. I could assume that could have gotten a little weird on occasions, but yeah,
It did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
how old are you during this time in your life? What are we talking about?
Well,
20?
so we were talking about Matt. Yeah, he was doing it in high school, and that's why I kind of had that in. I was like young 20s when I was doing it. Yeah.
Young 20s.
Nice.
All right, so young 20s. Let's say you're 22 years old, and you're up on stage performing. You hear all the screams. Jamie was saying you had groupies. Are there like old ladies? Are there like moms that are sitting there, just coming every day to Worlds of Fun to watch you perform? And that's got to be kind of odd,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
There was some that you wouldn't necessarily want to be there every show.
Right.
but we tried to be courteous to everybody.
I mean,
But
did
in a
you-
way,
did you need an escort out to your car at the end of the night? I mean,
It was almost that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think-
borderline.
I want to say the guy, because there was 3 guys, 3 girls to each cast, and I want to say you guys all walked out together because it could get kind of creepy with, I guess probably 3 girls leaving at the same time like that.
Yeah. Man,
yeah,
I
but
mean,
it did get dicey.
I've
remember that.
repressed some of these memories, and you guys are bringing them all back tonight. Thank you.
We're ripping the Band-Aid off. We're ripping the
welcome.
Band-Aid off.
Thank
You're welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no,
Thank you.
from our point of view, I would see people that literally came there just for that, and they would
Yeah.
do that. Like, I mean, it's an amusement park, so it has rides, but they literally just came for that. And yeah, I mean, it was cool. It was good music. I mean, it was good. It was entertainment. I mean, it was fun to watch. That's why.
And see,
Yeah.
my first year when I started working there, because Jamie worked there a year before me, if not
Makes
2. And so Jamie's like, oh, you got to come. It's cool. He was into, he got into that, was it 50s, 60s music or whatever, which in turn, I'm like, yeah, this music's pretty awesome. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to work there. And then they put me in the dolphin pool and they put me in the bird show. And so I spent a year at the dolphin pool and the bird show. And I'm like, Jamie's telling me how cool it is in there. And I'm like, and it's air conditioned. And I'm like, I got to get in there.
I forgot about
And
this.
so-
Some kid got bit by the dolphin.
Oh,
I'm
many
sure
kids got
multiple.
many
yeah.
kids got bit by the dolphin. I like it. The sign says, "Don't put your hand in there, you idiot."
Yeah.
Yeah, many kids.
somebody ended up killing that dolphin.
We
What?
can, yeah.
Oh,
we
you just
can-
took it to a dark place.
That's
Yeah.
that's for another time. But yeah, so it was my second year that I got a taste of the Stacks of Wax and the Tivoli, the country show at the Tivoli, and
Yeah.
Then I don't know if you knew this, but I became a performer myself at Worlds of Fun. Did you know that?
You really did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
Go ahead, finish the
I-
story.
No, I didn't.
I was brother bear and sister bear.
Shocking.
when the Berenstain Bears rolled into Worlds of Fun. I was Sister
Big dumb
Bear
animal, isn't he, folks?
and
I'm a
Brother Bear.
nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
I got to
got him.
autograph.
They got him started on his furry fascination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to autograph Berenstain Bear books. It was pretty sweet. It was pretty sweet.
So I
And
do
he
have a
did-
It was a
question.
good gig.
I got a
Go ahead.
question about your gig. Were there fans in there or ice packs or anything? Like,
In the costume?
yeah, to cool you.
Absolutely not. No. We were drenched in sweat.
Okay.
They kept the shows to about 10 minutes long. And then as soon as we were done, we still didn't have air conditioning in that trailer. We were in that red caboose train stage right there,
Oh
you know,
yes. Oh yes.
where there were a lot of dead rats in the dressing room and stuff.
Oh,
That's where they put us.
Ladies and
So
gentlemen,
we were
show
drenched in
business.
sweat.
Yeah.
And so I had a buddy who was one of my buddies was Father Bear, and he removed.
just what you
Hold on,
called
hold
him?
on. Did you call him Daddy?
Big
Come
Daddy.
on,
Papa Bear.
be serious here. This is serious stuff. But anyways, it was so hot. He removed his head before the doors closed,
Oh no.
and he kind of scarred some children. So he had to get dressed back up, and come out and meet these kids. And yeah,
Was that any worse than you signing autographs as Rudy Paredes?
Yeah,
instead of
sometimes you
Brother
forget.
Bear?
Yeah, I did that once. I signed the book Rudy Paredes, and why? As if looking down at my furry hand signing a book would not trigger something. But yeah, I wrote Rudy Paredes in a couple of the books, and
They don't call him Harry Palm for nothing.
Anyway,
Yikes, where's our waiter? Eesh.
let's move on from before we leave Worlds of Fun real quick. I do have this awesome memory. I came into work one day, and things didn't seem right. Like, you come into work every day and everything seems the same, and it's put my bag here, do this, get this set up and ready for the doors to open. But one day I came in, things were just different. I didn't know what was going on. Maybe Bud wasn't there getting ready. Remember Bud, the old man that did the lights?
Yes.
Bud and Mark Fockery. But things were weird. I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? And there were rumors that Lenny Kravitz was in the park.
Oh yeah.
It was a rainy day, wasn't it? I feel like it was a rainy day, and you had just pressed like an album, like your
Yeah,
first.
It was a sad day. Yeah, I had a CD with me, and yeah.
Yeah, and I remember you gave a couple people, like, we got to find this guy, like,
Yeah,
so
it
in
was
between shows. Yeah.
What was our manager's? Was it Mason?
Yeah, Mason Goodman.
Mason.
So he was taking him around in all the secret roads in the park, and he would radio me to tell me where to go.
Oh, see, I must not have been there at this
So
point.
they were helping, and well, they weren't radioing me because I didn't have a radio, but someone had a radio, and they were trying to help me find him so that I could talk to him and say, "Hey, here's my, my music." And I'm still a Lenny Kravitz fan, but
I was gonna say, so not having been there, I'm trying to follow here. So Lenny Kravitz literally was in the park that day,
Yes.
and you're trying to get your CD to him.
yes. I just wanted to meet him, but yes, I had a new CD, so I was going to give him the CD and stuff.
Yeah,
And they have roads behind, just like they do in every theme park, where they take the VIPs, but it was rare that would happen there at Worlds of Fun, and it's someone that I really thought was cool. But yeah, it went on all day, and I just remember being in the parking lot with the other cast member, and they're like, "We're sorry, we're sorry."
We never caught up to
never. No.
Oh, okay. So you just
and I think he had a kid with. He was probably with his daughter, that's the famous actress now. She would have been.
Oh yeah, Zoe Kravitz.
This
Zoe
was like,
Kravitz.
did he have like a concert in town that?
Yeah, probably.
He must
have been in
town
or
something.
Yeah.
Why would he be in?
I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think they were on a family vacation to Kansas City.
I don't think they picked Worlds of Fun. They'd go.
But
for
I remember
go for Disney.
In between each show, we would all like, okay, here, you take a CD, and we would all kind of just scatter, and we were trying to help you out. We were trying to
You
find
guys
him.
are great friends. Great friends.
Yeah, we were trying to.
That's actually a good memory. Now
Didn't come through, but
it's okay.
but yeah, we all tried to get it passed down. But after Worlds of Fun, let's move on from Worlds of Fun.
Please. So if no one's ever seen me before, they're going to think I'm a theme park guy, and
Right.
But we just have a lot of shared memories. Yeah.
We do, and that's kind of we worked together and we had a good time. But ever since then, so
Yes,
man, you've been in Vegas, you've been in Madison, you played Madison Square Garden.
I did.
So after Worlds of Fun, what happened?
Okay, well,
Like, what was your
that's
first
a quick,
step?
that's a big jump.
It
yeah,
is.
yeah, but we'll get there. Well, that's when I actually became, thankfully, I did. I mean, I went to college and I studied advertising, which I actually use more. As
Good.
especially nowadays, you have to have that side and everything, branding. But
Mhm.
I became a working musician. I never really had a day job per se. So once Worlds of Fun, I had this brief thing as a DJ, which was not a cool DJ, not like a spinning DJ. Like I would do trivia shows, and I would do the boats, and
Okay.
I would say that those were my behind the behind the rock star story, because people
right, yeah.
like older people. One time a guy dropped his oxygen tank on my foot, and another old guy cussed me out because they would give us the prizes to give had holes in them, like cards, because they were used cards from the boat, and everyone they were in the worst mood because they would come off and had lost, and they felt entitled,
Right.
and you're trying to be happy, and it's like not what I wanted to do. And then I did sports trivia, and I wore a ref shirt, and I was doing that in bars, and I was just chasing the dream. So anyway,
Sure.
I bridged into being full time, a lot of acoustic shows, and while this was all going on, I was going to L.A., New York, shooting around, and I was doing more of the pop rock thing, and naturally everyone was kind of pushing me, like, all this stuff's happening in Nashville that fits what you do. And I was kind of fighting it because partially I grew up, my dad sang a little bit, dabbled, and did, Johnny Cash and George Jones. And so that was the last thing I wanted to do. And it naturally happened where I ended up in Nashville. And that's when I became a much better songwriter. And almost all of my recordings that are commercially released, I did in Nashville at this point.
Okay. Okay.
So, once the Nashville thing, I started commuting there and kind of chasing a record deal. And as the music business has changed, I kind of became more comfortable in the independent role and calling my own shots. And in the midst of all that, COVID happened. I have a 7-year-old, so that was like just before that, and so that changed things a little bit. And so I kind of, I like being based out of Kansas City, and the way I describe my sound now is essentially it's kind of a heartland rock crossover country rock Americana, which makes sense. It's authentic to who I am and where I'm from, and it's different for everybody. But I think a lot of artists, it takes a while to find your lane, so to speak.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let me ask: when you were the time you spent in Nashville, would that have been the same time that Taylor Swift was getting her career kind of up and going too, or are we talking different time frames here?
She was already happening, but not near to the level that she is now. Like
Okay.
a band I loved, Gloriana, who just banded. They were like, "It's like this is where I want to be," because they were kind of this rock and country. Well, they were touring with her, and at that point, she was playing like Kemper Arena. So that give you a rough idea of where she was. She was younger, and she was definitely doing more of the country thing. And I went to an awards show where I sat right behind her, and
Nice.
it wasn't. I mean, she had those hardcore fans then. It's why she's such a big star now, because she really connected with it. But it wasn't the same craziness as it is
now.
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was at the Ryman, and it was like a smaller awards thing. And I just happened to, but I did not converse with her. But I know she's tall.
Yeah. Well, I just heard you say Nashville, and I just thought, all right, well, would that have put you there at the same time she was? And did your paths ever cross? And it sounds like they kind of did, but not really.
Yeah, and I mean, I've hung out in the places where a lot of the band guys were, and I had a lot of friends that are touring musicians, whether, most of them are in the band, the musician guys. And so a lot of it was networking. I'd stay in Midtown, and I have played on Broadway, but I kind of avoided that because I wanted to be in more where the industry was. And for a time I was there part of every month, and most folks thought I lived there, which was the goal, to get in with the network. And I still have very strong contacts and friends there. But the trajectory changed a little bit because I kind of less focus on chasing a label deal and more focus on building an indie career than I'm doing now. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned songwriting earlier.
Yes.
So is that something that you struggled with before, or how did Nashville help songwriting?
Well, I think the dream was big enough for me that I learned early on the song is everything. What I didn't understand is that a lot of artists weren't writing those songs, you know.
Right.
I thought I had to do everything. And so I started writing really early. So I don't know, when I got into it, it was like a necessity, I think. I don't know that I would have really hit the songwriting lane without thinking that's what I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be. But
Sure.
then over time, I learned when I started, especially when I started going to Nashville, which is, you know, the songwriting capital of the world, I started actually being more drawn to the writers than the artists, and going to see the songwriting circles and hearing these hit songs sometimes before they were even a hit. And that really excited me, and it also taught me a lot because I learned where the bar was set, and the craft of songwriting. I just got a lot better at it, and so there were songs, you know, that I had written years before that if I thought it was a great idea, I rewrote it. And you know, one of my bigger songs, "Boyfriend," if you know that one, I came up with that idea. I came up with that idea. I was like 19, and I had different versions of it. I was in Miami shopping it. I was in Los Angeles shopping it, and then I went to Nashville and I rewrote it. And that's when I became a better writer. And you know, then the music video came out, and that song, I was in the studio, and 3 different times almost Blake Shelton almost cut that song, and it was the people around him, and the timing just never worked right. But that was never my goal. You know, some people, that the songwriting thing and the pitching to get a hit, that's their main area. I was just writing for myself as an artist, but that's a song I still believe in, and it still really connects with people. You know, the humor in it.
So that song was on that original album. We were chasing Lenny Kravitz down.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And it was a different version, because I remember
Completely,
when
yeah.
I heard your Nashville version, I'm like, wait a minute, I know this song, and you can hear bits of it. Still love the song, still love the idea. It was a great, great idea, great song.
When you say Blake Shelton almost got it, when you say almost got it, what does that mean? Like, are you like chasing them into elevators and be like, hey, look, I got this great song for you? You know, like, how does the life of a songwriter, how do they get it in the hands of somebody?
Well, usually it's in the publishing world, but this would have been the ultimate great magical story, because I was in the studio still recording it, and people were contacting me about it because they wanted to shop it to him because they thought it was the perfect song for him at the time. And over the years, you know, he went through the divorce with Miranda, different things happened, and the timing never worked. So I don't know that he heard it, but the person that picks his songs, his A&R person, his producer, they heard it, and there was some interest, and you know, enough to get my hopes up, and people who I value their opinion and trust were telling me, you know, there's a pretty good chance the song's going to happen. And then it went, at one point, went to Luke Bryan. And I never shopped it. But back to your original question, what normally happens is you end up signing a publishing deal, and there's people that pitch these songs to the artist. And of course, the artists have people that they trust that they go to for songs. And there's a lot of screening that goes on before it actually gets to the artist.
And that would have been fine with you for another artist to perform the song that you had written. I mean, obviously you're going to get writing credit for it, right? And probably some money, but
it would have been fine because of the money. But somebody like him,
yeah,
you know, especially at that time, and he was more on the radio, they would have put radio money behind it, and I would get paid over and over. So
Yeah.
it was harder then because it was my signature song, and I had investors, and I went and did a music video to it, and it, you know, it was had a lot to do with my brand at the time. So, but you know, the bigger picture is something like that could really change things for me if, you know, an artist did it, because it would open other doors for me as an artist as well. So.
Because then the question would be, all right, well, what other songs do you have that we can purchase from? It's like, all right, you know, that one was a hit. Let's see what other
Absolutely
titles this guy has.
The catalog.
Well, I'm sure most of them will be watching this episode, so you know they know. You know.
Oh yes,
yeah. We got a lot of ever since the Nikki Pace episode. We got a lot of country songwriter people watching our stuff. So I remember you
So
reached
you're
out to me
welcome.
after the Nikki Pace show. So
Yeah. I
Um,
was like, what a great guess.
because I'm like, haven't we talked about Blake Shelton on this podcast before? But I think it was with Nikki.
I think
'cause,
so.
Yeah.
Mike's good friends with him.
Well, with
so.
Mike, he knows a lot more people than I do. But how do you know Nick?
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Bobby,
of
how
course
do
he
you know
is.
Nikki?
We went to grade school together, classmates
Oh,
in
yeah.
Holy Cross over in the old Northeast area.
Well, if you look at my website, one of the quotes, testimonials is from Mike, and it says
Oh, really?
Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Country Radio Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Yeah.
I pinned him down and said, "Hey, give me
Write
a
something.
testimonial. I'll send you a bottle of tequila." That's actually what happened, but he didn't know I was going to send him the tequila.
Okay.
I asked Nikki. I was like, "What's good?" I said, "Yeah."
Nice.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. Good people.
So you're so the songwriting, performing live, I feel like that's kind of your thing. You love that. I mean, from the time we worked at Worlds of Fun together, I've seen you at you're performing on Valentine's Day, early show at Laney's, right? Laney's in Westport.
Yeah.
Is the Tin Roof still down there? I remember I saw you at the Tin Roof.
Tin Roof owns Laney's, so it's actually booked out of Nashville, and it's a great room if you haven't been there. I've played there once now, and I didn't realize Tin Roof owned it until I got that call. And it's kind of a special. It has a ton of potential. We ended up they had something going on late, so I don't know when this will air, but yes, on Valentine's Day we'll be there.
We're gonna try to get it out. Because I know you've got a performance this weekend. So
yeah, so they moved us to 5:00, and the band never performs at 5:00. I'm trying to convince people, hey, you can come in, you can see an early show. You won't have to deal with a bunch of grumpy pants people that got Valentine's Day reservations at a restaurant and can't even get in, and the service is bad. I mean, you could just come in and sit down, and it's not. Some of the places we play, are just loud, crazy. This is like a tasteful volume. So, I don't know, being Valentine's Day, being early this time of year, a lot of people leave for warmer climates. I don't know what to expect, but I am actually looking forward to the show, and I have a song coming out Friday, so that's going to be a bit of a release party too. Yeah.
Okay.
So you got Bullseye is the name of it, correct?
Bullseye. Yeah.
Bullseye's coming out Friday. Is that going to be on Spotify and
that will
Apple Music, all that stuff?
Everywhere. And it's in pre-save status now. So if you follow me on socials, I'm of course put those links out, but Friday it'll be out everywhere. And it's a song. It's kind of a comeback song. And when I wrote it, we'll get into this as down the line, but the reason I ended up at Madison Square Garden is a friend who plays darts, professional darts. Everybody's like, darts, yeah, like literally darts. He's Dutch. He goes by the Dutch Dragon, but he's Team America. So I did my song "American Dreamers" when he walked into the arena, and it was televised, and I got to do it more than once, which was super cool. But when I wrote this song, my song's actually in a darts movie too, called Bulls, which just came out. But I pitched this other song. I had a verse chorus for it, and that's why the Bullseye part. And so it was several months later, I listened to it again, and I was like, that's pretty catchy. So I went back and rewrote everything. So the story about my friend who's playing darts is he has, and I don't know exactly what you call it, but some sort of nerve damage type thing in his right hand. So he is relearning with his left hand.
Oh, wow.
So when I wrote this song, I thought about him, because it'll be the ultimate comeback. Like, he has to skip this year, and if he comes back in 27, there's a good chance I'll be there with him to sing again. And then nice. I thought about Mahomes and everybody. Oh, you're done. The team's not good. You tore your ACL, and I know without a doubt there's an inevitable huge comeback. And I thought about those guys, and then I thought about me not giving up on this dream, and how everybody wants to count you out. And that's what the song's about. So it's about being very focused, obviously Bullseye. So it ended up being a much larger message about life and sports. It works real well for that. And nice. just the challenges of when your dream gets stalled and continuing onward, So I finished it up, and I'm proud of it. It'll be a good live song, I think, too, because it's kind of a rocking one. Yeah.
And that's the song that comes out on Friday?
Yes. Yep.
Looking forward to that.
A release party on Saturday at 5:00. Laney's
Yes.
getting out.
Yep.
Awesome, man.
Which is across from Kelly's on that corner. That's been a million different things. It was a brewery. It's next to Tin Roof, if you know where that is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it was a brewery before,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Nice.
They've totally redone
Yeah.
it. It looks really nice.
I haven't been in there yet.
Oops.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get down there at 5:00 on Saturday. I get off work at 4. I might be able to make it, man. I've seen you all over the place. So I will say, you did a couple stints. I don't know if you do them anymore at Holiday Distillery.
Yeah, I did. I was there
Okay.
for a while. They shifted people that did the booking, and that particular person and I didn't work, so I'm not there anymore. But I have a good relationship. I have a good relationship with a lot of people that work there. That's how I ended up there in the first place. But
Well, before they fired me,
they
fired me,
you. Okay, yeah.
yeah, before they fired me, we would have meetings, and a lot of it was like, how do we get people out here to Weston and visit the distillery? And they're like, can we get some singers out here? Can we do? I brought your name up. I said, I know a guy, Drew Fenton. Drew Six. He plays around town and blah blah blah, and he's a local guy, and I think he would work well here. And it seems like nobody listened to me. Then they fired me, and then I see you there. I'm like, bro, they're still stealing my ideas, man.
Maybe
I'm like,
someone
what is
listened to
going
you. Yeah.
on? Yeah. So
Things have a way
I
of-
saw you
weird way
out
of
there
working out.
once.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, nice little
that's
patio
big of you to
day.
come back there after you're fired. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still friends with the guy that fired me. Hey, I get it.
He must
People
have
get
done
fired.
something. Okay.
Hey, I'd fire him too.
Yeah.
I think the problem was I didn't do anything. So,
Yeah,
but that's story for another time. I'm hoping to get him on here
Yeah.
one of these days. But awesome. So yeah.
I don't like you either.
Delayed.
Are there any other local places that you frequent? I know, what's that one right there off of Main Street? I can't ever think of it.
Uptown?
It's close.
Main Street.
It's close to American Century. You were just there a couple
Oh,
weeks ago.
Levy.
The Levy.
The Levy.
Levy.
I don't know why I can never think of it.
Yeah, we tried to come back there. They kind of had a change in format. They kind of so they were owned by the same people for many years, and I loved that family. We worked closely with them, and then we were kind of grandfathered in when they changed ownership, and they kind of went a little bit more of the DJ style marketing. And so they had expressed an interest because it's my understanding there was another owner and changing direction again and kind of getting back to a little more of that. But so we did a one-off show. But I remember that place when it was historically a live music spot in Kansas City. So I kind of miss that. But they're still going. And not to say I would never be there again. We just happened to book a one-off show to give it a shot here. And that was, I don't know, a few months back. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite places to play around town?
Oh, people ask me all the time, and I don't. Post-COVID, I actually kind of wanted it to happen this way, where I started moving around a lot more, doing a lot more private shows, and it's harder, to be honest, because I used to do restaurants and things like that every week, and that gave me a little bit of security. But like this time of year, I hardly work, which is extremely stressful.
Sure.
But I had always aspired to move around more, and it's more fulfilling. And that just when COVID happened, everything closed, so I had to do that, and I never really went back to the old way of things. So back to your question, it's just the vibe in the room. Like I don't have a favorite place, and I never know walking in. And some places on a given night might be amazing, and another night they're not so much. But I just don't. I mean, I don't have a favorite room here.
Sure.
At least right now, it's all about connecting, and sometimes it could be, 10 people, and it's just a great night because they're very connected to what you're doing, and you got that energy is going back and forth, and sometimes it could be 300 people and it's just not working.
Yeah. So it's not about the size of the crowd; it's just about like you said, the vibe.
Yeah, the connection would be. What's that?
No, I was just gonna say that. How does that with you mentioned that you had been in Madison Square Garden? Like, what's that vibe like? Is it such a big? I mean, I guess who were you there with, and how did that differ from some of your local spots that are smaller, more intimate?
Yeah, so the Madison Square Garden thing, surprisingly to me too, I wasn't nervous at all, and it, which was just weird. We did sound check, and I mean, I knew the song. There wasn't a band. We used a track because he comes on stage, right behind me and all that kind of stuff. So I knew exactly where we were going with things, and the non glamorous side is it's like it's Madison Square Garden. You have all the security to get in, and they gave me a dressing room on the complete other side of where all the players were stuff. So I have to be there, before the crowd, and then it has to be timed perfectly. So there's a lot of lonely time in the dressing room. So I was just sitting there doing social media and whatever I could. Believe me, I did as many backstage videos as I could. Say, I'm here at Madison Square Garden. I'm here at Madison. But
Right.
anyway, but that show, the TV thing makes me nervous because it was filmed. There's cameras there, and it was like on international. So that makes me a little nervous sometimes. But close to that, the other, before I get to that, the other thing I got to do in New York is we had an after party at an Irish pub in Times Square. And it was where they did some of the darting events. So they set me up with the management there, and they treated me like family. It was pretty awesome. And boy, I at that point, I was taking a little break from drinking. Bad timing to go to an Irish pub. Because all they wanted to do was, give me whiskey. And so it was an after party. So we started at like midnight, and I'm telling you, tonight it's after my bedtime. So right in time, but that was really fun. It was such a strange thing to play Madison Square Garden and then go to that, and there was this interaction because you're just down in this pub with all these people, and it was a lot of fun. So different vibe. And then but when I was back to the other thing, the other big show I did around then, I did the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas. So that's a sold out 20,000 seater arena.
Okay.
And Matt Lewis was involved with that because Matt's a booking agent in Vegas. So he actually made the gig happen. And,
nice.
Yeah. So that one's on TV, and that one was more nerve wracking. And whenever I go to Vegas, I've done a few shows in Vegas now. The first thing I do is go buy a humidifier for the hotel because I have trouble with my voice in the desert, essentially. And this was NFR's in December, so that's a big working month for me because there's holiday corporate events that I go sing at. So I had been doing a ton of shows. I got there, I lost my voice, and so just tons of nerves there. And then they did. I sent my phone on airplane mode so that wouldn't happen. So that was probably me still. I can't figure out technology. But anyways, so I did military night. So the branches of the military line up behind me, and it was just cool, chills, and I did original music, one of my songs, American Dreamers. And what they didn't tell me is that the stage has LED like jets flying over. So I got a little vertigo in the middle of the show.
Man, I bet.
I move around a lot and do my thing, and I'm a head down and stuff, and all of a sudden the stage is projecting movies and things like that.
My knees would get weak. That would be terrible. I can't drive over bridges, man. I get nervous driving over bridges. That's crazy.
But that turned out great, and I mean, at this point in my life, I realized that the wealth in what I do is like the people that I meet that I would never meet, and music knocks down walls. So dart culture is its own thing. I mean, it's very, I didn't know what it was. It's like the closest thing I could tell you is like a European soccer event. People wear costumes and this craziness.
Really?
But once you do that, it's like you connect with them, and it's like you're like family. And everyone told me going into that, they never had live music at that event. So for them, it was like groundbreaking. They really appreciated it. It went completely outside of something they've done before. And of course, to me, I took that for granted because this is what I do. And then like the cowboy culture is a very kind of a closed off type of thing. And they're like family. And when you come in there, I always say, I think the secret to those connections is just being authentic to who you are. Not, I don't go play a biker event and pretend like I'm a Harley guy. Play a cowboy event and pretend like I can ride a bull. I'm a music guy, and I find common ground, and I come in and I'm authentic, and we connect. And
we see that you could blend in as a biker guy from that video.
Well, you saw the video. I could. I just bring my handlebars.
Swing them around. Yeah,
I was going to comment on the production value, but I figured I'd leave that alone.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around watching darts at Madison Square Garden. Like I'm picturing darts as a very, a fine, and you're in a big arena like that. How does that set up?
So they just, things are different. Like it's huge in Europe. So the majority of the fans are European. And I didn't know what to expect, but when I tell you the people are dressed like bananas, they create this excitement, because to me, darts would be kind of quiet and somber, but it's not. It's like being in a giant pub, and it's not in America a lot. Obviously, it's the biggest one in America, and it's coming here more. But also, like I said, he's Dutch, but he is Team America, so he's an American jersey. He had my name on his jersey, which was really cool. And
oh, that's cool. It had the logo and everything.
Yeah. So when you watch the video, so if you go to the top of my Instagram, there's a little clip from it, and it shows him with the coming down from the back. And
what is your Instagram handle?
Everything's pretty much /Drew6, DREWSIX, as you can see right there. Yeah.
All right. Right. Yeah.
The Facebook, I have Drew6 on my personal, but the Facebook official one's Drew6 Music. But everything else, YouTube, Instagram, it's all /Drew6. So,
nice.
And they're all on Drew6.com. If you go there, you can click on it and check it out. And so I lost my train of thought on the.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, we were talking
on
darts.
The darts thing. Yeah. And so, I mean, you kind of have, and then they made this movie about darts, which is interesting. So my song's in it, just a little clip because my friend is in it, and he's it as the walk-on music in there. And so he plays himself in the movie. Oh, okay. And anyway, so it's pretty buried in there. I was pretty excited about it. I was like, I'm not going to promote this too much till I actually see the movie. And I couldn't even hear it on my phone. And I was like, and I had my daughter with me, and I was like, can you hear my song? Because there's people talking. She goes, I think it's there. Yeah. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm on your Instagram page right now, and I'm just kind of flipping through, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I see the Madison Square Garden one, and I see the
rodeos there, at the top.
The guy with your name on on his jersey. I see that.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right under Bet 365, but
Well, that's part of why it's that's part of why it's working in America. They got that all involved and legal. So people are also betting.
That's
on
right. I
think
I have seen that on some of those sporting betting apps. Is you can bet on darts, can't you?
Yeah, I believe so. And I was told by the darting community that was going to change everything here. That people would become more involved, and there would be a little bit higher exposure.
Yeah, you're talking to two.
Guess who may be betting on darts tonight?
Okay, well, yeah,
you're talking to two gambling fools.
Well, Bet 365 is the primary presenter of that one at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. I see. Like I said, I'm on your Instagram, and I'm just seeing some of the performances that you've had.
I'm assuming you haven't posted your Stacks of Wax performances.
No, I haven't. I honestly haven't seen him, like I said, till tonight. That was great. It's taking me back.
I think I surprised Jamie. even with those clips.
I could have had like a hero cam or whatever you call those things, where I could see my point of view, so it could take me back.
Oh yeah,
I could see you guys in the crowd.
Yeah. Hey, I want to take some time to shout out the Soul Plane Drifters, your band.
Yeah.
I laughed when I don't know where it was. I think you were in Lee Summit, maybe at like Llewellyn's or so. I don't know where you were playing in Lee Summit one day, but I saw in your band my former Sam Goody manager, Todd, plays guitar in your band.
I texted him tonight and I said, dang it, Rudy's keeping me up past my bedtime. He said, tell him I said hello. tell him I said hi. So he always talks fondly of you. I forgot I didn't remember where you worked together. That's
we
a
worked
great story
at Sam,
in of itself. Yeah.
Sam Goody at the Independent Center. He
now,
was
not to bring up bad memories, but didn't you also get fired from that place as well?
I did. That was I went down in flames there. That was a bad situation. But
anyway,
that's a story for another day.
Move on. Yes.
Yeah. What places didn't I get fired from? Honestly,
probably a shorter list.
Shorter list.
Yeah.
But you also have Guy plays drums for you sometimes too, doesn't he? I see him sometimes.
Yeah, I have different guys that play for me. Todd's definitely a constant. Like we've worked together
Yeah.
forever, and he's my first call on guitar. Trust him. We got stories that we'll take to the grave. Uh,
Nice.
but the band moves around. But Guy and I have been friends forever too. So Guy played in a band with Matt Lewis in high school.
Okay.
So that's when I first met him because I went to school with Matt, and Guy went to another high school, but they played in a band together. And so the Guy has currently been touring with a Phil Collins tribute. They're actually coming to Knuckleheads, so give them a shout out.
Oh, cool.
Come see them,
Cool.
yeah.
Nice.
But he plays with a lot of different people, and he's been doing a little bit of stuff in Nashville too. And so when
Neat.
when we can work together, we do. And he's the added benefit of being a great singer. So we
Yeah.
can throw in some cool vocals when he's on drums.
So
Side note, Guy actually played in a football game against Bobby's team. So
Oh yeah, he was a kicker.
yes,
Kicker
Guy
from Blue
Hudson
Springs.
for Blue Springs. Yes.
Oh, what was his last name?
Hudson.
Hudson.
Or am I supposed to? Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Guy Hudson. So let me ask you, when you guys, Matt, Guy, were all high schoolers, knuckleheads, or whatever. Who are you guys listening to? Who are your influences? Like, who are you guys? What CD was first to go into the Camaro's dashboard?
We were all into different stuff because what I remember about Guy worked in radio, and he was always way ahead on things. And I always compliment him now on his musical vocabulary. Just,
Okay.
I mean, I'm into music and I like a lot of different stuff, but that guy, part of it was working in radio, but he just has a history. He knows classic music. He would play me the new stuff that was coming out because he worked for one of the alternative stations. We were just talking the other day. He played in his Mustang Alanis Morissette the first time I ever heard her.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, what the heck? In a theater? Like, what are these lyrics?
Joey from Full House? What?
No. Yeah. So, but I remember that. But then Matt and I came up together, and he would always get like the lead roles in the play, the musical, all the school stuff.
Right.
And it would frustrate me because I would try out. But the cool thing is we still were like best friends, even though we were really competitive. But then I was the rock band guy. So I would get some more of the cool factor with the peers and that kind of thing. So and I was always in trouble. Like I did a choir thing, and you saw that little Worlds of Fun video. I got in trouble because I jumped on the chair and I shaked my hips too much. And the ladies complained about the whole deal.
A little innuendo.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
So then I was touching into like the glam rock stuff, not because of me really, but the main guy that was the drummer in my band was kind of the leader and pulled me in. And he would get all the girls because he really was a wild man. I looked like a wild man on stage, and when I got off stage, I was totally shy, had no game. And I would fall in love. That was the other thing. I'd fall in love in 2 days with the girl, and I would meet her parents, and the parents would like me, and she was done, because I was this wild guy on stage. That's not what she wanted,
Right.
And he was a true bad boy, so they would run off with him. And, I wouldn't change it now. You learn a lot, but it was hard, that awkward stage of, so the stage was the place where I could get that all out,
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So you said a few times you're a local guy, I know, but what high school did you go to? Did you go to Blue Springs or where?
No, Guy went to Blue Springs. We went to Lee Summit.
Lee Summit. Okay, so you grew up out in the Lee Summit area then?
Yeah, my parents are still out there actually. Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and I heard you say you have a daughter, and so how many kids do you have?
Just one. She's 7. Yep. And she gets a lot of attention. And she was actually in one of my music videos like a few years back.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
cool. So and that's something we didn't mention is I've had the good fortune of writing for some charitable organizations in town and nationally. Interestingly, my career, that's been a great way to open doors is these different organizations that I end up writing for. I did some stuff for arena football, different sports things, but I'm really proud of the work I did. I did some stuff with Variety Children's Charity and also Dream Factory. And the Dream Factory song they use nationwide, and we did a music video, and my daughter is in it with me. So
I bet she gets some cool points at school for that, for having a rock star dad. I bet.
Yeah, I don't
No?
know. I mean, yeah, I think she still thinks I'm cool, but like she was, she was smaller in the video, and I remember they had to give her chocolate to get her to kiss me on camera or something because she would do it. And then her mom, we said we won't tell her, and we were filming on this farm, and it was awesome. And so her mom brought her in the car, and we're like, we'll just let her out, and it was sort of like a fenced area, and we'll get the cameras will be ready, and she'll be excited and run to me. Well, she goes right outside of the fenced area, jumps over the side. So it didn't work.
Right.
But I still don't think she thinks it's as cool as I did. But for a long time, that was her only favorite song of mine. And I said, that's your song because you're in the video, right?
Right.
I think that was
Right.
pretty much it.
Is she elementary school, middle school yet?
No, she's second
Elementary.
grader.
Elementary.
Second
Okay.
grader, yeah.
Because I was going to say, I've got my daughter's first year of middle school this year.
Yeah.
She's in 6th grade.
So is it 6?
And-
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 6th grade. And I am the furthest. And I think it started happening in 5th grade, but I'm struggling right now with, I am the lamest person on the planet to her when like 2 years ago, I was the coolest. Like
Yeah.
we'd hang
I've
out,
heard
watch
that.
movies together. And then there's a flip that switches and now it's friends. And we'll have a 40-minute ride to school and she won't talk to me. And if I ask her, I'm like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? She just looks at me like, yeah, like leave me alone. It was a switch that
I
flipped.
think
What's
this is
it-
a whole
what's it
nother
like-
podcast.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. We
Yeah,
can talk about
I
it.
just ripped off my own band-aid.
What's it like
We're
being
gonna-
Drew Six and strutting into career day?
I was gonna say, yeah,
You
you got all the other
Ooh.
dads beat, right? I mean,
Well, I've done. I remember one kind of glorious time. It was before she was born, where I did a career day, and I went back to my old junior high. And
Oh, yeah.
when I walked in and I was doing my thing, there were other peers of mine that had become attorneys, various professions, and all the kids like switched to my presentation because you had to pick, what you're going to be when you're. So that was like a glory moment for me, because
Oh, yeah.
like I said, I wasn't that cool in school.
Nice.
But as far as my daughter goes, like in pre-K, I came and sang when they found out what I did, and she was very shy about it. And then once they kind of discovered that, she did a presentation where they did not really choreography but hand movements and sang. So they put her right in front. Well, she told them she wasn't going to do anything, and her mom and I sat in the front row, and she just sat like this during the whole presentation, and they expected
Right.
she's going to be a singer, and so we asked her, it's like, why'd you want us in the front row if you're going to not participate? She's like, I wanted you to block out the crowd. So she doesn't like being the center of attention so much, but she's
Sure.
into gymnastics and dance and whatnot. And
Awesome.
So this year, the only thing I've done is you can come read to the class. So I did that.
Oh, that's
And
fun.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
but it's a whole new thing to me because, like I said, we only have one, and she changed schools. So this is the first time that I've had peers that are parents, friends, and so I went through this whole thing of them figuring out what I do and how non-traditional it is. And now some of the dads and the parents will come to my shows, which is cool. It's
Oh,
just
neat.
a whole
Oh,
new
neat.
element. But I never
Yeah.
had that, in my life because,
Uh-huh.
like I said, we only have one.
Yeah.
That's-
Very cool.
Hey, Drew, we appreciate you taking. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you got.
Yeah. But before we let you go, so you've got your Bullseye coming out, your single coming out on Friday.
Yeah.
You've got your Saturday show at Laney's. Is it Laney's Get Down?
That's right. Yeah.
What?
That's what it's
Okay.
called.
At
Yeah.
Laney's in Westport. You got that at 5:00 on Saturday, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You got anything else on the horizon that we need to know about?
Yeah.
Any other shows?
Well, first of all, I'd like to invite people to go to drew6.com. Just find stuff.
Absolutely.
Send me a message. Say hello. Something I'm really excited that I'm working on. We were talking about different communities that I've been involved with. I did some shows at Whiteman. So I got some pilot buddies, and to make a very long story, a friend that is a stunt pilot that does air shows brought me in on that last season. I got to play. They did one in Branson, and they did a thing at Top of the Rock, a private event. So I got to perform for all the pilots. The Blue Angels were there with their families,
Oh, cool.
and And
Nice.
I wrote a song for him, and it wasn't really done, but I was scrambling to get the demo done so my buddy could hear it, and he had me perform it for him, and it was an amazing experience because it's Top of the Rock's a beautiful place if you've never been there, and all these families were there. It was very emotional because it's a tribute to them, and it's also a military tribute, but it's also for the families who go through not knowing where their spouse is, and it's called "Still They Fly." And so that's a song I'm really excited about. And these things, when you're talking to me about the release, these things take months. So that, I'm working on the promo for the one that comes out Friday, but I've just been nonstop recording this other deal. And I'm really excited to get it out. So that's going to be the next thing. And my hope is that they will utilize it at some of these events for flyover stuff. But a great community, and they've brought me in with open arms, and I've met a lot of amazing people. And these pilots, they appreciate their music, and they're like, I can't believe you get up there and do that. And I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, you were just spinning in the sky.
Hearing what you're saying? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
when will that song come out then?
It will be, there's usually like at least a 4-week delay before when I get to the distributor and build the marketing plan, but we're heading into mastering in the next week. So depending on how we present it, it'll be in the next couple of months, I hope.
Okay.
So,
is all that stuff done in Nashville?
Typically almost everything I've done, but this was a local studio thing, but it was partially Nashville, but it was not me being there. So there's several Nashville people on it. And some of the contacts I made, there's this amazing vocalist and a new guitar player that I worked with that was there. And so they're part of all these tracks. So cool. It's kind of a mix of things. And this was something that I felt really strongly about. I wanted to get it exactly right, and which I drive myself crazy doing that because when you go into a studio, you got to get out of there, and it's not all you.
That's got to be hard. That's got to be hard to make sure it's perfect.
And it never is.
Perfect,
The hardest part's just saying we're done.
Letting it go. Letting it go.
Tinkering with it. Yeah.
Well, cool. Anything else, guys?
This has been great. No, I appreciate. I know you've got a history with my brothers, and so just never having met you, it's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed listening to your story this evening, and so I appreciate you taking the time. Even though, like Jamie said, I know we're keeping you up past your bedtime. So
that's good. It's just if I'm not working, I go to sleep and say goodnight to my daughter, and it's like I'm ready for bed too. And like you get up at 6 something in the morning. And,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And usually Drew, I would just have an energy drink, but tonight I want to be able to sleep after this.
Yeah.
Well, we will let you get to sleep, man. We appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. And
All right. Well, we appreciate all our viewers tonight, and go see his show on Saturday. So hopefully we can get this out before then.
That'd be awesome. Cool.
But
thanks so much, guys.
Yeah. For my brothers Rudy, Jamie, our guest Drew 6, and
not to get into too much troubles, okay?
Oh man, you're still recording.